Step into your adventures in dreamland. Soft, surreal, and slightly cheeky sleep stories with awe and wonder. I'm Serene, your guide tonight. I'm so glad you're here. However your day unfolded, I'm grateful to be a part of how it ends. I'd love to know where you're listening from and what time it is. I read every comment. Every tap helps pay the cloud mortgage here in Dreamland. And if your finger ever drifts towards the subscribe button, rumor has it your sleep deepens by 11%. Not proven, just whispered. I say the science is still out. Now we return to what we are. It's strange. People have no idea. There are only 3 states of being, and you move through all of them every night. Right now, we're in our most superficial state, awake, bound by the senses and ego, influenced by the outward stimuli of the physical world. And while dreaming, the subconscious is in control, projecting stored impressions, thoughts, desires, no longer governed by the physical rules. And in deep sleep, there are no dreams, no mental activity, no ego, just a temporary return to the pure awareness of the soul, united with the divine, though you won't remember it. Bliss without awareness, tasting divine peace, what yogis pursue in stillness and saints devote lifetimes to finding. So relax. Let go. You are returning back to your inherent state. Freedom. Your story begins. The Cloud Cafe is episode 37 and belongs to our Dreamscapes playlist, where we create surreal, beautiful locations to take us places only dreams can. The kind of day that drives you into a cafe isn't always dramatic. Sometimes it's just gray. A gentle, convincing gray that seeps into your bones until you start craving warmth, the way plants crave light. You pull your jacket a little tighter and hurry through the drizzle. Each raindrop feels like it's reminding you how long it's been since you treated yourself to something rich, foamy, and emotionally stabilizing. You don't want much, just a cup of comfort. Maybe with cinnamon, maybe with purpose. And then, there it is, a flickering neon sign through the mist. The Cloud Cafe. Perfect. Though judging by its brick exterior, you don't understand how it can live up to its name. You push through the door. A tiny brass bell jingles from above, cheerful and faintly chaotic, like it's doing its best. The scent hits first, roasted coffee beans, a hint of vanilla, maybe someone's rain-soaked scarf steaming gently by the heater. It's warm here, soft. A hug disguised as humidity. But as you step forward, something shifts. The air feels lighter, The floor hums faintly underfoot, as if the building has a pulse. You blink. The room shimmers around the edges. The espresso machine's hiss stretches into something softer, more musical. The hanging lights sway, even though there's no breeze. And then it happens. The walls start to thin. Not vanish, but dissolve. The brick softens into transparency, and you can suddenly see what's always been hiding. A web of rusty pipes, old and crooked, twisting like antique veins through the building. You smirk. Well, you think, it's probably for the best. I didn't want my cappuccino flavored with tetanus anyway. The bell above the door jingles again, but this time it sounds farther away. Your body seems to forget what gravity is. You don't panic. You don't even gasp. You just lift. Your body rises slowly, lazily, as if the air itself has decided to carry you. The world below turns watercolor, liquid and lovely. The pipes stretch past you like bronze vines, and droplets of rain shimmer on them like tiny planets. It's not falling. It's not flying. It's something in between. A slow, weightless floating that feels like being forgiven for something small and human. Up you go, through ceiling beams that melt into mist. The smell of coffee lingers like a promise. The higher you drift, the lighter you feel, like the caffeine is already working before you've even had a sip. And then, through the haze, you see it. A gentle golden glow above the clouds, an escalator gleaming faintly in the light. You let out a quiet laugh. Of course, because where else would a coffee lover ascend but up there? You float just a moment longer before your feet touch something solid, sort of. In front of you, suspended in glowing mist, is a sign. Elegant, minimal, floating slightly askew. It reads, Cloud Café, where the air is always light. With an arrow pointing, the fog parts. A crystal escalator emerges, glistening like moonlight caught in glass. Each step a prism shifting color with your breath. It hums gently, inviting. Somewhere above, a harp begins to play. For no clear reason, no harpist, no explanation, just ambient, ethereal harp. Naturally, you step on. The escalator begins to rise, smooth as a daydream, steady as a lullaby. The world below disappears in layers. Gray clouds, rusted pipes, forgotten umbrellas, office buildings trying their best. Now, only sky. You pass through a layer of mist, so soft it feels like forgiveness. The harp music swells ever so slightly, like it's proud of you. Or maybe it's congratulating you for getting out of bed today. Then you see it. Up ahead, the gates, golden, glowing, adorned with tiny swan-shaped filigree and the kind of flourishes that suggest someone went just a little too hard on Pinterest. You can't help but grin. Feels like the gates of heaven, you think. And of course, there they are. Literal golden gates, not even subtle. As you step off the escalator, they shimmer and pause, waiting. A voice, maybe coming from the clouds, maybe from inside your own teeth, asks gently, "Password, please?" You blink. You don't even have time to think. Your lips move on their own. Softly, clearly, you say, "Latte." Nothing happens. You respond again naturally, late 11. The gates hesitate for one dramatic beat. Then, whoosh. They swing open in perfect, buttery silence. Mist curls inward like it's welcoming you personally. Tiny motes of light float by. Not dust, not glitter, something else entirely. Maybe joy in particle form, maybe creamer. Hard to say. A warm breeze greets your cheeks, carrying the faintest notes of vanilla and white tea. You step forward, and just like that, you're in. You've officially arrived at the Cloud Cafe, and it's about to be exactly what you didn't know you needed. You expect to step into a room, maybe a foyer, maybe some sort of cloud countertop situation. But instead, you arrive in something that feels like a sacred pond in the sky. A hush settles around you. Not silence exactly, but a peaceful quiet that feels deeply respectful. Floating lily pads, as wide as tables, bob gently atop a soft sea of water vapor. There are no walls, just mist, light, and the faint sound of trickling water that seems to come from nowhere and everywhere at once. You take a step forward, and a lily pad slides toward you, expectant. You step on. It adjusts beneath your feet, then lifts you slowly until you're hovering just above the others, weightless but grounded. Somewhere to your right, a delicate bell chimes. Somewhere to your left, a soft laugh echoes. Not directed at you, just part of the atmosphere. The air smells like matcha steam and vanilla bean. The temperature is perfect. Above you, a dragonfly glides past, wings chalk-written with menu items, shifting as it flutters. Whipped fog and honey macchiato, steamed, vanilla moon milk, cloud crumbs with a drizzle of self-worth, warm miso caramel, hug in a cup, something you forgot you loved, served iced or hot. You squint. The last one reads, "Surprise me. We already know." You smile. Of course they do. As you scan the menu on the dragonfly's wings fluttering, another lily pad glides by, this one holding a tiny teacup and a barista who floats just slightly off the ground. The barista is dressed in something soft and impossible to describe, like a robe made from moonlight and café aprons. He smiles at you like they've been expecting you for centuries. His name tag says Tangy Todd with an orange and cloud logo. "Take your time," he says gently. "We've got all of it." You place your order. Your voice sounds exactly right here, like it finally fits the space it's in. Tangy Todd bows slightly, then glides backward into the mist. You have no doubt he'll be back with something perfect. A small sign drifts past, tethered to nothing, its letters twinkling faintly. Cloud Café, where the air is always light. You lean back on the lily pad. It lifts slightly higher, rocking you just enough to remember what being calm feels like. Above, clouds swirl lazily into shapes that almost mean something. Below, nothing pulls. You're floating in a cup of serenity, and you haven't even had a sip yet. The lily pad beneath you gives the softest shh as it dissolves into mist. Not a vanishing, exactly, but a graceful retreat, like it knows you have somewhere else to be. You don't move. The cafe moves you. You gently drift sideways into a new space, or rather, the space unfolds around you like a blooming thought. Suddenly, you're on what can only be described as an outdoor patio in the sky. Circular string lights blink into existence, but not all at once. They appear one by one, like stars waking up from a nap. Some float, some sway. A few are shaped like tiny paper lanterns, and one, you're fairly sure, winks at you. The air is velvet. Warm drafts pass by now and then, scented like cinnamon, steamed vanilla, and clouds. Yes, if clouds had a smell, it would be this. Something between clean sheets and secrets. The cafe dims slightly, like it's dipping into a soft dusk, and stars begin to poke through the upper mist. One or two streak across the sky. A couple land on nearby patio tables and fizzle gently like fireflies who took a wrong turn. A group of small flamingos wander in from one side, unbothered and regal. They pause, nod politely, and continue walking until they shimmer out of existence again. You're not sure what that was about, but you're not mad at it. A soft bell rings somewhere in the mist. Not your drink, not yet. Just time saying hello. Then, a voice, high-pitched, ridiculous, delightful. Your eyes are especially sparkly in here. You glance over. Tangy Todd drifts by, holding a tray of nothing in particular, and he seems deeply committed to his emotional support role. As he passes a couple seated near you, you hear him offer, "That sweater brings out your ambition. You are the reason the moon rises on time. You smell like hope, but in a non-threatening way." No one laughs, but everyone smiles. The compliments aren't for applause. They're part of the air here. You sit a little deeper into your seat, realizing this moment isn't about the caffeine at all. This is the part where you wait, not impatiently, but gratefully. The moment before the moment. The inhale before the sip. Above, the stars blink. Below, the clouds breathe. And around you, the patio holds space for exactly where you are. The patio begins to dissolve, but not all at once. It's more like a gentle fade, a respectful bow from the ambiance as it backs away. And then, sunlight, soft and golden, it pours in from nowhere and everywhere, warming your skin without heat, brightening your heart without asking. The clouds turn even whiter, which you didn't think was possible. They puff out like overachieving cotton candy, practically radiant. Everything gleams. Below your feet, a glass floor appears, shimmering faintly like sunlight caught on the surface of a dream. You step forward and it holds you, light as air, but firm as trust. The floor is so smooth like marble glass on your feet. A bar made of spun sugar curls up in front of you, its edges catching the light in pastel rainbows. You don't sit at it. You sort of settle into it, like being held by a marshmallow that believes in your potential. And then, just when the sweetness starts to bloom into something emotional, he's back. Tangy Todd. He hovers gracefully, 1 foot off the ground, as always, holding a cup that seems to glow faintly from within. "Here you are," he says with a grin, "and may I just say, your whole vibe today is equal parts celestial majesty and freshly baked shortbread." You take the cup, trying to digest his compliment. Before you can, he hits you with another. "You're giving me soft-spoken sorcerer with excellent boundaries, and I mean that in the best way possible." Then he just scoots away. Your cup is warm, just the right kind of warm. The texture is soft ceramic, with a glaze like river stones. It fits your hands like it remembers them. The drink itself changes color slightly with your mood, swirling from blush to gold to lavender and back. First sip, time slows, like someone pressed pause on everything except this one. Singular comfort. Even the clouds can feel your delight rising. Second sip, you forget what you were worried about. Not in a "who even am I" kind of way. More like, whatever it was, it can wait. You're here now. The taste is somehow both familiar and brand new, like a memory of joy you forgot you had. It's sweet, but not too sweet. Creamy, but cloud-like. There's a hint of vanilla or almond or possibility. It steams gently into your face like it's nuzzling your cheeks. You close your eyes for a moment. A soft humming reaches your ears. It's peaceful and low, a lullaby with no lyrics, just gentle comfort curling through the mist. You glance sideways, wondering who it is, but no one's singing. Then again, maybe it's you. You take another sip, and another, and the world becomes softer, rounder, kinder, like everything is finally holding you the way you've always wanted to be held. Then, like a soft movie transition, you feel a presence. You know it's Tangy Todd before you even open your eyes. Not to alarm you, he says, but you're radiating the exact energy of a bedtime story that ends with a standing ovation. You appreciate that he appreciates your appreciation. Then you feel a harp play a ballad for appreciation that seems to crescendo through the entire cloud café. One big, weird kumbaya, but zero awkwardness. As a singing quartet made entirely of clouds, bow ties, and sincerity begins softly harmonizing. Cloud Café, woo, where the air is always light. You realize, quite suddenly, you'd like to go to the restroom. No urgency, just a gentle awareness, a body request, a soul suggestion. As soon as the thought forms, the cafe responds. The floor beneath you shifts, not drops, just realigns, and a door appears. It's carved from glowing mist and outlined in flickering candlelight. A sign floats beside it. Cloud Comfort Suite, guests only. You push the door open and are instantly wrapped in the softest air you've ever felt. Inside is not a bathroom. It's a spa, temple, palace, rebirth chamber, masquerading as one. The floors, cool white marble, inlaid with opal swirls that pulse faintly under your steps. The mirrors, gentle and glowing, designed not to judge, but to reflect potential. The light, soft, golden, and exactly the right amount of flattering. You step forward, already feeling better without doing anything. A sink appears before you, carved from moonstone somehow, and next to it sits a bottle labeled Starlight and Confidence, luxurious lather with emotional support, undertones. You smile, of course. You wash your hands and think, this is not my local Starbucks bathroom. You have a flashback of weird messages carved with keys into sinks and mirrors haunt you. You smile and set the Starbucks bathroom flashback aside. Back to the present, the water is warm, with the faint scent of clean rain, lavender, and something nostalgic you can't quite name. Like the way your pillow used to smell at your grandmother's house. Like childhood summer air. Like yes, the towels, when they appear, are impossibly soft. You press one to your face and audibly sigh. It smells like permission. Then finally, the mirror. At first it's fogged, but as you exhale, it clears, and there you are. Not the version of you from earlier, not the tired one, not the trying one, not the one who's been holding it together. This one is true. Your eyes are steady, your face is soft, and there's something shining behind it all. A kind of calm you didn't know was yours to keep. You lean in, just slightly, and say to your reflection, oh, there I am. And the mirror, being who it is, glows a little warmer in response. This isn't a skinny mirror, the kind that make you a few pounds or kilos lighter. This mirror is a vibe mirror, where the world is lighter mirror, turning your original gray day into a vibe day. You step out of the celestial bathroom, glowing like a soft-lit skincare commercial. And immediately, the café shifts again. This time, it doesn't float or shimmer. It clicks. Just one subtle, satisfying click, like a puzzle piece falling into place. And now, you're in a warm, velvet-draped, candle-scented work zone. But not the overwhelming kind, not the productivity trap. This is the gentle burst of focus you've always dreamed of. Around you, glowing velvet seats, low lamps, and enchanted laptops that power on with a soft sigh and smell faintly like vanilla bean and determination. A voice, perhaps Todd's from somewhere unseen, whispers, "You're about to organize something, and it's going to feel amazing." Your dream desk appears in front of you, clean, minimal, gently radiant, one candle, a coaster, no pressure, no chaos, just possibility. You sip, heaven, your drink that is, and where you seem to be. And suddenly, without effort, your blood turns to spreadsheet, not for work, not for anyone else, but for you. You begin planning your week, your month, your finances. You're about to make a 5-tab document comparing your favorite movies to your emotional growth. You might even rank your favorite fonts. You are calm. You are collected. You are terrifying in Excel. You then organize your music files from the early 2000s. Impossible until it wasn't. The cafe plays ambient thunder in the background, like nature is applauding your clarity. Somewhere in the distance, a cappuccino froths with approval. You glance over to your right, and there it is, that book. The one you bought years ago, the one that lived on your nightstand, then the kitchen, then your work bag, then back to the shelf, then return to the nightstand. Like a guilt-laced boomerang, you pick it up. This time, you read it. And not only that, you absorb it. The words click into your brain like puzzle pieces. You read a whole chapter, then 2, then 4. You're halfway through and glowing with the quiet pride of someone who followed through. You glance at your notes. They're color-coded. You make a playlist to match the mood of each chapter. You rename it something quietly poetic, like fog, coffee, and self-respect. You close the book. You smile. You sip. Because this isn't about getting everything done. It's about getting enough done to feel like yourself again. The cafe hums its approval. And somewhere above you, a small paperclip-shaped cloud whispers, "You're doing great, champ." Your desk dissolves, not with a sound or a flash, just a quiet decision made by the cafe itself. The spreadsheets disappear. The playlist fades to a low murmur. The book softly vanishes, mid-sentence, like it's bowing out with grace. And in its place, a floating canopy bed appears. It's suspended in soft moonlight, like a hammock hanging between stars. Clouds gather around it protectively, fluffing themselves as if to say, "This one's ours now." You don't walk toward it. You're simply already in it. The covers adjust around you instantly. No tugging or fluffing necessary. They cocoon you in that exact temperature your body was quietly craving. Not too warm, not too cool, just U-shaped comfort. The mattress breathes with you, rising and falling gently, tuned to your rhythm. You curl up into your favorite position, the one that always tells your body, "We're safe now." Above you, the moon pulses faintly, like it's dimming the lights for you. Around you, cloud walls drift close, not to trap, but to protect. The heart plays one last lullaby, and somewhere you swear you hear the soft shush of Tangy Todd's socks as he floats past, handing out invisible blankets and emotional support cocoa. You close your eyes. You don't even mean to. They just fall shut, heavy with peace. Your pillow shifts ever so slightly, then whispers in your ear, "You've done enough. Let the cafe hold you now." And you do. You let the warmth take you. Let the quiet wrap around you. Let the soft final sips of wakefulness drift like sugar in tea. The mist rises. The music hums. The stars stretch out into a lazy sigh. And then you feel your bed beneath you. Your real bed. Your here bed. Back on earth, but still a little warm from the clouds. Your blanket tucks gently around you. Your pillow feels just a little sweeter, as if it's carried a trace of that whisper. The Cloud Cafe has returned you, not because it was over, but because it knew you'd had just enough magic for one night. And as you take your final breath before sleep, somewhere far above you, in a place made of steam and stardust, a heart begins again, soft, sure, waiting patiently for the next time you wander in from the rain. Cloud Cafe, where the air is always light. Sweet dreams.